In 2013, women's representation in California state legislature was tracking toward a 20-year low of just 22%. 2 decades after 1992's momentous Year of the Woman across America, progress for women in politics had completely stalled. That's when a small, multiracial group of founding mothers from every corner of California launched Close the Gap. Stats showed that women won just as frequently as men did. Recruiting talented, progressive women to run in open, winnable districts could be the missing link.
How did it all start? It was by a random phone call. It was Mary Hughes, and she said, we've been watching you. You should run for state assembly. I said, are you nuts? And here I sit as majority leader of the California State Assembly 8 years later.
The Center for American Women and Politics at Rutgers University released a report on the effectiveness of Close the Gap's model in 2025. The report found that Close the Gap's model is unique among our peers.
We start years before elections targeting districts. We build a list of women whose names keep coming up, and we invite them to do a year-long exploration.
Close the Gap has a wonderful way of breaking it down, giving you the support that you need to really be successful.
I just felt so held. Dr. D was going to make sure that we had everything we needed, like we would never be alone.
In just under a decade, California rocketed from 22% women's representation to nearly 50%, the highest in the state history and the only top 10 global economy to be effectively run by women.
California has leapfrogged from 19th to 4th in the nation for women's state legislative representation.
In 2018, when I was elected and I arrived here at our state capitol, the number of women legislators was less than half of what it is today. And that isn't just progress, but that's a revolution.
These progressive leaders are delivering on issues from abortion access to perimenopause care, to housing affordability, to climate resilience, and serving as a bulwark against rising authoritarianism.
Aye 60, no 0, the measure passes.
The Legislative Women's Caucus has secured billions of dollars for childcare, secured access for menstrual products, identified and connected unhoused students to services, expanded access to reproductive health, and even extended those protections to women across our country. And yes, we eliminated the pink tax and more.
Close the Gap's breakthrough approach is gaining national attention. Forbes called Close the Gap a model to achieve gender parity in politics. The Los Angeles Times said, what's happening in California deserves attention.
The Golden State's path to parity has not been serendipity or a result of California's liberalism. When I think about the painfully slow progress toward parity in Congress, I wonder what we can learn from California to close the gender gap nationally.
Close the Gap proved that reflective representation can change quickly, but we're not stopping in California or at the state legislature.
Now we're ready to scale our impact, closing critical gaps across the country.
Nearly half of all members elected to Congress come from their state house. Strong pipelines, down ballot, pay dividends at the federal level. Imagine a deep bench of women with valuable experience who would be ready to run for higher office.
The future will be defined by the strong, smart women who step up to run for every kind of political office, and by those who organize over the long term to help them win.
Close the Gap cracked the code in California. Now we're ready to close any gap, anywhere. The question isn't whether this model works. The question is, how fast can we scale it? You can help us close the gap across America, so we can become the first generation of women to govern ourselves.